Okay, this is A3Militarism group. Militarism, you may begin.
Okay, so before World War I began, the four major European powers, including Britain, Germany, Russia, and France, were already competing against each other by comparing their militaries. So, for example, the British and the German were already striving to develop stronger navies, while even though Russia was poor during this time period, they used their massive population as an advantage to create stronger militaries. So, by all these nations developing their militaries, this led to these countries extending their power and colonizing through other countries, which is the definition of what militarism is. So, despite imperialism, nationalism, and alliances all being relevant causes for World War I, militarism was the most significant underlying cause because it acted as a catalyst for all these other causes, and it also not only allowed countries to assert dominance over other countries, but it also defended and promoted their national interests. So the first reason is that militarism asserted dominance over other countries by helping to take over land. So, as I said before, according to the human story, these four European powers started to develop their military force, and as the tension between those nations grew, they ended up using these military forces to fight over colonies in Africa and Asia. And these European countries fought over these colonies in order to gain their power within the European politics. So, as everyone was in a scramble to take over these countries, many people feared war. So because these military forces were growing so strong as they were taking over colonies, this even led to some alliances like the Triple Alliance because they wanted to protect each other in case of war. So because militarism affected the colonization and all these other events, it was the base for all these causes, which therefore shows again that militarism was the most significant underlying cause.
Militarism allowed countries to use the military to defend or promote national interests. The main event of militarism causing World War I was the naval rivalry, which was made in 1900. Britain had the most powerful navy in the world. The new Kaiser Wilhelm announced his intention to build a bigger German navy than the Britain. Britain felt very threatened by this. They then decided to boost their military power with the goal to promote national interests and take part in conflict. From the beginning of World War I, both sides of the conflict used propaganda to shape international opinion. The efforts of states to justify their actions and to build international support resulted in some of the most powerful propaganda ever produced. These pieces of propaganda were produced to defend or promote national interests. This is an example of how World War I was not a war to solve an issue or intervene a crisis. Rather, it was a war to prove one's nation to be strong, dominant, and superior. Nations such as France were able to defend their national interests, such as gain back its lost territories from Germany, prevent another defeat by Germany by acquiring overseas colonies, and redeem its reputation as a powerful and diplomatic nation. They were able to complete these by using their powerful military. Although it is true imperialism extends a country's power and influence through colonization and use of military force, nations would not be able to fend off foreign dominance, take place in conflict, nor promote or defend national interests if it weren't for militarism.
Okay. Mayor, you can start.
Alright. Some may view other causes such as nationalism, imperialism, or alliances as the most significant causes. Yet imperialism is not one of the most significant causes of World War I. The definition of imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization, use of military force, or other means. According to the definition in itself, the use of imperialism wouldn't even be possible without relying on militarism. It's necessary to use military force to extend a country, as said in the definition. Another way imperialism is dependent on militarism is by a fear factor. To conquer or colonize other nations or colonies, one must have a strong army to do so, or at least to instill fear in their opposers. Having a strong military often helps show who is superior, or at least make it visually appear so. Even if the nation used imperialism and conquered new areas and territories, they would still need to rely on a military to defend their newly gained area. The more territory they have, the more dependent they would be on their military. But imperialism not only relies on militarism, it also uses it as a driving motivation. One of the most prominent reasons to conquer other areas was driven by the idea of a better or stronger military. A significant reason to conquer other places was for resources, which would then benefit their army. The much-wanted resources for one's military allowed them to pursue further in their quest for more territory or land. But these are just a few of many reasons why imperialism could not have been the main cause of World War I.
Okay. And 40. Matthew, may begin?
Hey folks, how are we all doing today? So, I know all of you have a very weird idea about militarism, and that's about glorifying war. No, it's really not. That's a misconception. It's a simplistic idea of the actual what it actually means. It means keeping a well-regulated, keeping a well-defended military and using it to promote or defend national interests. So, while it is true that a war grew to a larger scale because of alliances, you have to realize that the reason why these alliances happened is because there's an actual incentive for these alliances to happen, which are promoting or defending national ideals. So let's talk about Germany and Austria-Hungary. So Germany wanted to go to war not because it loved Austria-Hungary, okay? Friendships don't matter, okay? Simple story. Short story, yeah. Germany wanted to go to war because of Kaiser William, and because they were allies with Austria-Hungary, they got involved. However, keep in mind that they are using the military in order to defend or promote national interests, which drove them to make the alliance. Kaiser wanted to paint an image of power and superiority, as Germany was having technological advances with its navy, surpassing British sea power, the best in the world at that period of time. He was also worried about Russia and France surrounding his countries. So as you can see, there are two incentives for him there. He wanted to defend his nation from Russia and France, and he wanted to promote a larger, to make Germany, wanted to paint an image of a powerful Germany. Yeah. Okay. Now the next now let's talk about Britain. Why did the British want to go to war? Well, it was because the British got involved and used their army to promote their national ideals again, and in order to remove potential threats to their power and their strong relationships with Belgium. Militarism is what drove the British to join the Triple Entente in the first place. So Britain wanted to maintain their strong sense of superiority, right? However, you may be wondering, why did they join the Triple Entente? If they were so confident, couldn't they fight the war by themselves?
You need to conclude.
Yeah. Well, it was okay. Well, they're idealists, but they're not stupid. Okay.
Matthew, I have to stop you there. Thank you. Christian, you can start.
Militarism allows countries to assert dominance over other countries. It also allows nations to defend or promote nationalist ideals. Although alliances, imperialism, and nationalism are all relevant causes of World War I, militarism is the most significant because it acts as a catalyst for the other reactions to occur. This can be seen through militarism catalyzing nationalism, using strong militaries to promote and defend nationalist ideals. For example, in the beginning of the war, in 1890, Germany spent around $30 million but towards the end of the war, it spent nearly 3 times that amount. A strong military also allowed these nations to defend their allies, such as Germany handing Austria-Hungary a blank check in order to protect them when they waged war on Serbia. In addition to nationalism being catalyzed by militarism, militarism can also be seen as a catalyst for imperialism because strong militaries are needed in order to conquer other nations. New technologies were created as a result of expanding militarism, such as tanks and dreadnoughts. Without strong military expansion, the cause of imperialism would cease to exist during World War I. As alliances also were catalyzed by militarism, with stronger militaries joining together in order to win the war effort. Nations were also taken over, and for example, allies taking over African nations in order to enlist more people into the war effort. This just shows that strong militaries are needed in order for nations to win the war. In addition to militaries expanding during the war, nations also expanded their navies. Before the war started, prior to the main events of the war, Germany expanded their military in order to beat Britain in an attempt to beat Britain in the naval race. All of these points help to prove why militarism is the main underlying cause of World War I.
Okay, great. Let's acknowledge the whole group. That's the last military group. Thank you very much, militarism. You may stand down.
Stand down, wouldn't that be sit down?
It's like a little militarism fun.
Ah,
That's what you do. That's what an army does.
clever, I
See what I did there? Okay. Now we need to know what's coming next.
Imperialism.
So let's see.
I don't know what's a torch for.
So our next group. Oh, I didn't stop it. Sorry. So you guys.